Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, which today mourns the passing of the news of the world in verse. What about the news of the world gone?
So?
168 years.
So?
The paper that died of shame. I've got a poem here a man has written in a requiem. It's gone but not forgotten. The red top that was rotten. We would tut-tut over three in a bed, but we're guilty because we paid. We would hide it when the parson called. The headlines were quite blue. But back home in the rectory, the parson would read it too. See that youth who may be going to Maynooth? He would read it in seclusion. It left him feeling sinful and covered in confusion. A born-again man with Bible in hand sang loudly, "Rock of Ages." He clutched his Bible securely, red top between the pages. A stern old maid sipped lemonade with a strange glint in her eye. "Sex for sale?" The headline screamed. The old maid muttered, "Oh my!" Many people now I've heard said read their red top in their bed. Then to their spouse they softly turned. Is it any wonder the roast was burnt? Doctors, lawyers, even vets read the paper with no regrets. When the bin man called like a crafty fox, they would stuff the paper in a cornflakes box. I've done it too, and so have you, so don't look down your nose. Oh, how you'd leer from ear to ear at those women with no clothes. Now it's gone, yet we can't walk on. To make bread, you must have yeast. We paid our money gladly to feed the hungry beast. We built it up, now we knock it down. The red top got taught with its pants down. We thought the lewdness was such fun, never caring if it hurt anyone. Now the red top is no more. Hang a wreath upon the door, and many there are to blame. 3 million people love to read the Sunday paper that died of shame. Did you ever read it?
Did you ever buy it?
Oh, yes.
I never bought it.
Oh, when I was a teenager, I never missed it.
Did you?
Oh, looking at the naked women, of course.
I don't believe you.
But see, you weren't human. I was a red-blooded lad once. You probably don't believe that looking at me now, a shriveled up husk. But there was a time I was vital. And I wanted the world and I wanted everything, and I needed to find out all the stuff that was bad. So I bought the Sunday News of the World. I almost said the Sunday World. I bought the News of the World every Sunday. And do you know something? I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it.
I've never bought the Sun.
Catholic Gazette.
No, never.
What did you buy? The Messenger?
Never bought or the Sunday World.
What did Janet buy? What did she buy?
Janet wasn't allowed to buy the News of the World.
Radio is a more demanding medium than television in that the imagination is required to work overtime. This is not always a bad thing, but there is sometimes a question mark when we discover that the listeners are unnaturally interested in the women who work on this show. It's sometimes a mistake to be in a man's house, even though one is merely on the radio in his front room.
A man was asking me last night about Janet.
You see, there's a lot of people out there fantasize about Janet
Yes.
and Emma, and I don't like to talk to this about Janet because I don't want to get too excited. And Emma's married anyway, but so's Janet. But you see, Emma's, well, more level-headed. Janet's a wee bit wild.
Well, a man said to me, he says, "What? She seems.
What are they like?" They always say to me, "What are they like?"
She seems a nice person." I said, "She
No,
is."
but that's not what they wanted to know.
Is that right?
No, they didn't know. They say she seems a nice person. They always start off, okay, let's say we won't talk about Janet because Janet's here.
They asked me, was she married?
No, this is what they always say to me. Can I
Right.
say to which, and then you can tell me what they say to you. I would meet somebody maybe perhaps somewhere in Belfast or maybe in some of our major cities and some towns, and somebody would say, I enjoy your programme. They always seem, surprised to hear themselves saying that. And I always say, thank you very much. It's nice. It's very nice to get a kind word. I said, we're not used to it. I said, those girls that you work with, I said, yeah, Emma and Janet, yeah, they seem nice girls. You hear them in the background. I says, I know. I said, it's nice that because it makes them feel as if they're involved. Are they married at all? Those girls? As a matter of fact, both of them are, and both of them have children. And then this is the big question. This is they really want to know. Well, what do they look like? So I always tell them.
It's a David.
Pardon?
We're told it's a David.
A David.
Yeah, David.
Thanks.
Yeah,
that's good. That's made my day.
Yeah, no.
It's a David. And they always say, "Well, what do they look?" So what they really want to know. So I always tell them that Janet is 6 foot tall, blonde, 40, 22, 38. And wears short skirts. I always tell them
22, 38?
40, 48, 22, 38.
She's 48, 22.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
38. That's 38. Kind of... You're talking
48?
You're talking Jordan there. Jordan there. And I always say that Emma is not as good. She's 46 only. And 32. Actually, she's no waist. And then that gives them a picture, you see, and then they go away. And then that's all they want to know, because after you tell them what they look like, that's all they want to know.
I was in just to a couple of fellas last
They never
night.
ask what kind of people are they. The nice people never ask that.
No. But I'm always asked the same question.
What's that?
And I thought last night I said I'll come out with a smart answer, funny answer, but it died to death.
Did it?
The guys just looked at me.
Well, what did they say? What's the question?
The question was, he says, "Well, where's Jerry?"
And what did you say?
And I says, "Now I know how Dean Martin felt."
They had no idea what you're
I
talking
didn't know
about.
what I was talking about.
I know, you see.
They didn't know what I was talking
I
about.
know these people.
You know?
You see, you can't take them on. It's like the fella. It's like when people come up, and they don't do this to me often. Well, I have to say they don't do this to me often, but sometimes it annoys me. Sometimes they go up and say, "Can I get your autograph?" And I say, "Certainly." He says, "It's not for me. No, I don't like you." It's for my sister. You see, sometimes people do it, but they don't realise what they're saying. No, it's not for me. I don't like you, but it's for my sister. See, and then I'm okay. I said, "That's fine. Thank you. You don't like me. That's okay. It's a free world." So I just kind of, right away. Now, this doesn't happen to me often. I'm very rarely asked for my autograph, to be honest with you. Not as often as Julian. Many things strike terror at the presenter's heart, mainly due to the fact that he has seen too much. His career as a jobbing musician has put him off golfers and rugby players for life, but something darker lurks and slouches towards Bethlehem. I remember joining a band one time when I was away, and I came back here, and I went to school and stuff like that, so I had more or less retired. I was no longer a professional musician, but you keep your hand in, so you have no money either. And somebody says to you, "Would you like to play for us, and we'll give you money?" And you go, "All right." So this band, I won't mention them, it's not fair. And they asked me to play with them. I said, "Yes, I'd love to." As many days you do, nights you do, I said about 2 or 3 years at the weekend. That's perfect for me, because I was going to university at the time. That's great, I'll do that. A few quid, get out of the house. And so I said to them, there's only one thing. I said, "Do you do any weddings?" And they said, "No." I said, "Because, I'll have to leave if you do one." And they said, "Why?" I said, "Because that's my bottom line." I say, "I'm determined never to do a wedding, because after you do a wedding," see, what happens is, you're a musician, you see, you start off full of, high intentions, and you have great hopes, and you think you've got a talent, and then you go through all the stages and maybe get a glimmer of encouragement somewhere, and then maybe you go to a band and you play there for a while, and maybe you're 30 then, and you think to yourself, "I mightn't make it, but I probably will, And the only thing that happens to you that ensures that you'll never make it is that you'll do a wedding, because once you do a wedding, you realise that nothing matters anymore. You realise
it's different now.
No, it's not different
It's
now.
different. Receptions are different now, because your Uncle Joe's not called up.
No, weddings are always the same. A man. You don't understand what I'm saying.
They never call singers.
No, but that's not the point. It's not the point. It's not the point. The point is that the man who buys the band,
Yes.
has only ever probably done it once before in his life, right? Maybe he's got 2 sons or 3, maybe he does it 2 or 3 times. But see, whenever you're employed, people don't understand what you're like. But see, whenever a man buys a band, it's his for the night. And he goes up and he says, "Will you play Around the World? I've tried for you." Sorry, I don't know that. "What do you mean you don't know it? You're a musician, aren't you?" And then they threaten not to pay you. It's a no.
No.
I'm telling you. You don't know what human beings are like. And then it gets so bad that at the end of the wedding, do you know the time when the people vacate the room and the band comes in? And then you go around emptying all the glasses, I've seen people doing that. Anyway, this band that I was in, I said to them, one day they said to me, after
Who empties the glasses?
the musicians. They go around all the tables. That's it.
They do not.
That's the stage next to
It
death.
just shows you. It just shows
No,
you.
after you do the weddings for long enough.
The band's long gone. The band starts playing at 8 o'clock and they're finished at 10.
No, but
or whatever.
No, but you don't
Yes.
understand what I'm
No,
saying.
The disco starts.
It gets to the point where you can't do it unless you're full. Do you understand what I'm saying? And sometimes when people move from one room to another, they go and I've seen them doing it.
No, Janet says no, and I say no.
Anyway, after
You're out of touch, Janet.
I'm not out of
You're
touch.
so out of touch.
I'm not out of touch.
It's silly.
Don't you talk to me about being out of touch.
Girls' blouse.
Don't you call me a girl's blouse. I'm not one yet. There is a thespian lurking within the presenter. It doesn't take much to unleash this horribleness. He always wanted to be a 1950s Northern Ireland stage actor. Why? Nobody knows. Did you ever go to plays and they're all talking like that? Did you ever go to them? I used to go to them in St. Column's Hall in Derry. And all the men would be on the stage. They would say, "Oh, for God's sake, Bridget, sit down to that there and take a weight of your body. Sit down there and have a drop of tea and a bit of burn brack and tell us all about young Jim. I believe he's away enjoying the army. Oh, you'll never see him again. I'll tell you what, though. There's queer crack round about the crossroads these days. Them mice is running scattering everywhere. Do you know what I'm going to tell you? Old Jim could supervise mice to the crossroads. He's that smart. Where's that young son of yours now? Is he up at the hayrick? He's up in the hull looking for the cats."
What play was that?
I just made it up. The 1954 play by Joe Tomley, Is the Priest at Home? Is the Priest at Home? Has the following exchange. Father Mallon. Father Mallon, God bless you, Father. Just fitting while you're looking. Take that collar off and I'll give it a bit of a shine. Sit down. I'll give it a bit of a run over the damp cloth. Sit down there and put your crucifix to the left-hand side and get yourself a bap there. Put something on it, a bit of cheese maybe, perhaps a heron. Herons! Herons! Father Mallon is finding out about the makeup of his new posting.
Right.
Davy McAlea, the post. Hello, Davy. There you be your shack again, bringing your post bag up to us. Tell us now, is there any letters from Belfast? Davy McAlea, the postman, is a Catholic. Oh, Davy's a Catholic. Oh, for God's sake, Davy, get out and run for your life, Davy. Run for your life with a name like Davy McAlea. You're no Catholic. Run for your life, Davy. They're coming to get you. Davy McAlea, the postman, is a Catholic, but has not gone to Mass since the last mission. Oh, Davy.
What about Bobby?
Do you remember? You're no fun. Remember the missions? Boys and girls.
Stop it.
Boys and girls, they were always... What kind of fathers were they? The Redemptorist fathers.
Michael Parker from Belfast would like to hear a John Wayne record.
They used to come along and used to preach to us. This mission us little Catholic boys had to go. Remember, you used to hold up candles.
And Paul McAvoy.
Do you renounce the devil I do in all his pumps? Sean is now... Sean, you're speaking in tongues. This is a great sign. The Lord has chosen you. You're speaking in tongues. Go on, proceed. Tell me what the strange language is. Say it again, young lad.
Paul McAvoy from Warren Point was
94 today.
He's 90.
Only 90?
Yes. Congratulations from all his family and friends. What about Bobby?
Boys, I'm glad you came here today to listen to this sermon.
Bobby's on one.
I know many of you are sinners, I can tell by the look of your faces. Remember this, if you fall afoul of the Lord, you'll be cast into hell. And you know what'll happen in hell? You'll be burnt by the heat, equivalent to the burning of 1,000 Christmas trees.
But Bobby...
Davy McAlea, the postman... Stop. You should stop me enjoying myself. Davy McAlea, the postman, is a Catholic, but has not gone to Mass since the last mission in which the missioners were warned... in which the missioners warned the parishioners. Parishioners, stop taking the news of the world. And finally, another scabrous story about Daniel O'Donnell, which may or may not be true. Daniel asks the presenter to introduce him before his first ever concert in San Francisco, otherwise known as Frisco. He said, would you introduce me when I'm going on? And, do the whole BBC thing. I said, certainly, Daniel, no problem. So I went up and I went into the dressing room just as he was about to go on, and he was standing there in front of the mirror with his trousers off. Right. See, Daniel doesn't put his trousers on until the very moment he goes on the stage. So he's practically standing there with his trousers over his... You don't know that, do you? Because whenever he walks on...
Man as well as you think.
No, you look at Daniel when he walks on the stage, there's not a single crease in his trousers.
Not a thing.
So he just puts on the trousers just before he goes on stage. And he was standing there in his underpants, basically. And the girl that was with him, his major domo, the woman who looks out, she was ironing his trousers. And he's fixing his tie and stuff. And I'm just standing there, you see. And I had already arranged with him that I'd go out and I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gerald Michael Anderson. I'm from the BBC. We're doing a documentary about Daniel, who's a wonderfully famous and indeed much loved man from Ireland. You may not have seen him before, but this is your first opportunity to see him. I'd like put your hands together, please, for the one and only, that kind of thing. I'll say I'll do all that. He says, make sure there's nothing I can throw up over before I go on the stage. So he asked me to do that too. I said, what am I, some kind of boss boy? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. And she's sitting there, and he's looking in the mirror, right? And he turns around to her and he says, do it now. Will you do that? Go on, say that.
Do it now.
That's it.
You do it now.
So the girl puts down her iron. She's ironing his trousers. She says, do it now.
Right.
And she lifts a big pile of cards and letters. And she starts to read. This one's from Samantha O'Donoghue, who's from Gortahork, and she's been here for 25 years, and she's with her son Jim and her daughter Sheila. And this is for Magnificat O'Doherty, who's just had a little bit of illness, and she's here with her mother, and this is the first time she's been out for 6 months. And this is from Sylvia and Magella and Breege and Neve and all. And she starts reading all this stuff for ages and ages. And I'm saying, what's she doing that for? What's the point of that? So after about 5 minutes, I go, I want you to say this. That's enough now.
Right, that's enough now, Mary.
How did you know her name?
Right.
You just made it up, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I said, why did he do that? But I never asked him anything, because you don't ask Daniel things, you see. And then he put on his trousers and he went out. And he said, go on your head now. So I went out and said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome all the way from the old sod. It's all Irish people, you see, a horrible place. Remember the horrible place in San Francisco? So anyway, he went out and he went, hello, hello, hello. Before I go, there's some friends of mine here. He repeated everything that she'd said to him. All the names.
No, bah humbug! I tell you.
You weren't there.
We're not. I was there because
You weren't in the dressing room.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about when people come up to him. Yes, Joe. Yes.
Why I'm actually ringing is...
Tell her, Sean. Tell her we'll get round her eventually. Will you tell her?
But Joe, it's the people that come to see Daniel after the show. He remembers all their names.
I know, but am I not saying to you that's how he does it?
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's got a photographic memory. If you tell him something, he remembers it. And I
So
saw
does
him
Mary
doing
Duff.
it.
She's the same.
Who?
Mary Duff.
Mary Duff's the same. I saw Mary Duff with no
Absolutely.
clothes on one time. I went into her dressing room. She was standing there naked. And I said, I don't think you're Daniel. And she said, no, I'm not. I said, I think you've got the wrong room. Daniel's next door.
That was Mary Black.
It's Mary.
You saw Mary Black
Do you
naked.
think I saw Mary Duff in the buff? Do you think I don't know the... Do you not think I know the difference between Mary Duff and Mary Black?
It was Mary Black you walked in on top of.
It might have been her as
You know
well.
what I mean?
Huge difference.
I do it all the time. Back tomorrow. Thank you for listening.